we're back, and today we
We're
have
back.
two extra special guests with us today. Us. And if you can't tell, today is going to be a very organic episode. You are getting us as we are. Life is lifing. The world is
Sigh.
worlding. And yeah,
Yeah.
Jeremy, what do you?
Black Twitter is Black
Yes,
Twittering.
it is.
So much is going on. So much has happened. The Queen is dead,
Yeah,
and Black Twitter was very vocal about that. The Woman King just like destroyed it at the box office, which I
amazing. I
think
can't wait to see it. I was like,
I think that surprised
yeah.
me. Like I don't know. I don't know why it surprises me, but it did.
And the Little
Um,
Mermaid is black,
Blackity
black,
black black.
black.
Amara saw the trailer. My mom showed it to her, and she's been asking to watch The Little Mermaid
Oh,
since then. She'd never seen like the
can I
original.
come when you take her to see Little Mermaid? Like, I need to be
I don't.
there.
I'm like kind of apprehensive about taking her because I don't know if like Ursula is gonna be too
Oh
scary or
yeah, you
not.
might need to have a preview day and then take the
Yeah,
baby day.
yeah,
No,
right.
that is fair. That is because it is a little dark. I'm like, ooh, this thing look a little scary, scary.
Yeah, but I think Chloe's gonna do a wonderful job.
Haley,
Wait, Haley. Yeah, my bad. They're the same person
I
in
know,
my
right?
mind, and they're
When
not
they
really.
first came out, I was like, I don't know which is which, but they both sound amazing.
I don't know anymore. I'm tired.
And the
Um,
Emmys happened.
yeah, your favorite
Yes,
person
Shirley
won
Ralph.
an Emmy.
Yes, one of the original Dream Girls. And Moesha's mama. And as well, Lauren Hill's mama and Sister Act. She's been all
Mm-hmm.
the mamas. She's outstanding. She won for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Quinta
Mm-hmm.
won for Outstanding Writing for a Comedy Series. And the crazy thing is, it was for the pilot. And it's like, this is the first thing she
Yeah,
wrote as an actual, like, hey, I make TV shows. And that one won the Emmy. It's like, girl, how do you top
she
that?
has come full circle because I remember in the beginning how people were so anti
Yeah.
her. And I don't know why people were so anti her, but I really like the dry humor that she infuses in her
Yeah.
work. So I've always been Team Quinta from the beginning.
Definitely. I think it was the BuzzFeed stuff. People didn't like get a good feeling for her from BuzzFeed, but I love Abbott Elementary. Like I can't wait to see more. Of course, they probably greenlit
Hmm.
for 5 more seasons with the Emmy. So
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Also, Lizzo won one, and I don't remember
I
why.
think it's
And
for
yeah,
the game show, some sort of either reality or game or combination of the two shows. But
shrug.
yeah,
I really like. Okay, and Jennifer Hudson's got a
yep,
EGOT
she's an
situation going on.
EGOT, Emmy, Grammy,
I'm
Oscar, and Tony
Did
awards.
you see like her very long prelude like about all the things? Like she sang like all these
Oh,
different
I did
songs that were part of
not.
her
I need
career
to watch
and
that.
some formative. It was
I'm
really
not ready to cry
good.
though.
Some of it she
Mm.
forced, which I was kind of mad about, but it was it kind of made me
Does
emotional.
she have like that same thing like with Luther where like skinny Luther didn't have the same vocals as big Luther? So is it skinny J Hood has to force some of the notes, some of the
Ah,
resonance in the chest cavity that
you know, I think there's a difference between being recorded live when you're
yeah,
singing and having like a full production behind
yeah,
you, right? And she typically does really well, like in her live performances, but they're not like as challenging. So, like, she sang all these different songs that were in different parts of her
yeah.
register, and I think some of the stuff in her upper register were fighting against her that day.
But
So,
also, like, whoever does all of that at the same time, that's not like
no
practicing
one.
to be on tour. Like,
Yeah, she's just chilling
yeah,
in
she's not
what
touring
looks
right
like her
now.
house that has way too much like fanciness in it, in my opinion. Like, there's like a museum in there.
I've never
Um,
been. I have to
but
check
it's
it
super
out.
cool. Yeah, you gotta see. It's on
I'm
Instagram.
kidding, but I have to take a look because I feel like she likes fancy, and I'm all about the
Oh yeah,
fanciness.
I like fancy too, but I don't want to live in it. I don't want to live in it.
You gotta live in
It's
the
too
fancy.
much.
Let it be a part of
I mean,
you.
if I had a house that was like the size of her house, probably I could have a wing of fancy that I never went to, except for when I was doing stuff like what she was
Except
doing.
when you're feeling fancy.
Exactly. And then what else? What else happened?
Serena.
Yeah.
Serena retired from the game. She's like, you know what? I am the winningest winner in all of Winnington. And you all can have the rest of it. Naomi Osaka, here you go.
I'm passing the torch. It's yours now. Yeah. Oh.
Wait, what's going on? Oh, okay.
Someone's just like mowing the lawn outside for no apparent reason. We have an HOA. They just come
When they feel like it.
on the day they're supposed to come. And today is not that day. It is not that time. So
rude.
My neighbor's being extra. That's what happens when you live near nice houses and people care about their lawns.
They must. But also, we've been up to some cool stuff aside from Black Twitter and the state of Black America. For example, Jeremy has been beasting at life right now. I'm just saying. Would you like to tell Jeremy is a whole assistant professor, tenure-track. Just go ahead and tell the folks.
It's official.
Yes.
It's official. I started July 1st, which is like mind-boggling to me that it has been months since I started, like plural months. And yeah, I'm doing pretty well. So I had project that was awarded that allows me to continue my identity as a fake computer scientist.
I can't with you. She's like constantly trying to not be a computer scientist or associated with computer science. Yet when she goes to the computer science conference, everyone knows who she is. So I think we have to just end this charade. We just need to end it.
Listen, okay. So it's an iTest project, just like a National Science Foundation project, and innovative technology experiences for students and teachers. So there's tech. And we're teaching middle schoolers artificial intelligence, really machine learning concepts, by introducing them to fossil shark's teeth.
I love it.
So it's really cool. So we're bringing in the teachers for these 6th and 7th grade science teachers, and they're basically learning concepts related to machine learning, by showing them how shark's teeth are classified. So they're learning about databases and features and how to annotate things. And it's really cool because, I mean, I'm a fake computer scientist, right? So I get to like experience what they're experiencing, as in like not someone who understands all the terminology and, how different software works. So we got introduced to new software, and my side of it, the research side, is really focused on the teacher's belief in their ability to actually teach the stuff, right? So we're really trying to understand, like, do they really see themselves as computer science teachers in some way?
That is huge.
And then our hope is that it'll translate to the students, right? So it's really cool to see like teachers come in and be like, I don't trust it.
Are they
AI
already teachers who teach computer science, but just not machine learning, or they're like math or other disciplines?
Science.
Okay.
Like biology, nature of science, like really basic science concepts. Some of them are in like marine biology. But yeah, science teachers. Yeah. We had one guy who knew like more than anyone about shark's teeth, but none of them knew really anything about artificial intelligence. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because there are a lot of misconceptions about what artificial intelligence is and isn't. Yeah. And so that's a huge part of what we're doing, is also trying to help educate our educators that it's not something that's out to get
it's not
them
iRobot.
or surveilling them. Yes. Actually, we had a teacher mention that.
Yeah, all the time. Like, that's everybody's thing. Like, yes, that is an artificially intelligent mobile agent, but what you are programming is not going to get up and infuse harm onto you.
Yeah, like we're just trying to classify sharks' teeth.
Yeah, we're
here.
just
We're not
classifying
trying
the shark's
to-
teeth. It's
Let's say we're just like if you were sorting and separating, putting them into bins based on what you see. So it's really cool. And then I just got another project funded through the NIH, or the National Institutes of Health, and it's a training grant that's called Maximizing Access to Research Careers, or MARC. And we've had one on our campus for many, many years. But they invited me to be involved to develop a mentoring program for the graduate students who mentor the undergraduate students in the program.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, yeah, it's an undergraduate research program, and the goal is to get more students to pursue PhDs in the biomedical sciences. But there really isn't any kind of training really focused on the graduate student level for teaching them how to be effective mentors.
You're like, surprise, surprise, here I go.
Yeah, so we're about to go on a deep investigative journey to see what the babies need, how I can help them.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And I get to travel internationally, finally.
Finally.
I'm so excited that the world has semi-opened back up.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's
There's
reasonable
a lot
to
happening.
travel now.
yeah,
Semi-reasonable, reasonable, approaching reasonability.
we're getting there. I wanted to take the Teedler toddler, but I think it's still too early to do that. So
Yeah.
maybe next time. I'm trying to get her to Jamaica first.
Oh, that would be cool.
Heritage type stuff.
That's true.
No, I'm not Jamaican.
But her
For
other
those
half
of you
is.
listening. Yeah. And I'm going to be leading a study abroad in Brazil.
Oh, wow. I
So
didn't know about
that.
that
Should
one.
come too. Yeah, I know. I didn't tell you yet. I'm really
Wow.
excited.
When is that? Let me come.
It's in May. So, and it's going to be like 2 weeks of me going and introducing the students to Brazilian culture. And I don't know anything about Brazilian culture. So
Obrigado.
it's going to be a
That's
journey.
how you say thank
But
you.
there's a team. Oh, well, and I'm going to design like a study to be done focused on engineering design and like cultural awareness.
Is it with the
and all
university
that.
there?
It is. It's with UF. So, yeah, in our College of Engineering, we've started developing study abroad opportunities, and this one is internship based. So the students that go will get to work for Brazilian engineering companies.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. And then that like 2 weeks that I'm there is like, you know, getting to know Brazil, what it's about, the types of industries there. And I'm really there to just help facilitate some of their like introductory learning experiences.
That's cool.
So I'm going to center it around engineering design, which I think is really important for them to understand going into, and like in a global context.
That's really cool. So all of that to say she is booked and busy. Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm working on like 3 grant proposals, 2 papers, and it's just me and another, and I have a
she
student.
has a PhD student.
I haven't had a student that's my student ever. So
It's
this
fun.
is huge.
It's fun, especially when you have people who are capable and you can say, hey, I need to find out this. Go do the things. And they
And
come back with the things.
My first student is a Black man.
Shondo.
Like, I am so hyped about it. And I have a second student on the way, and it's a Black female.
Yay.
So this is gonna be a lot of fun. And if y'all are listening and you want to go to grad school,
Send an email.
if you want to research mentoring and self-efficacy, holla at your girl. That's all I'm
She
gonna say.
said she's booked and busy and she got money for you. So
I got money. Yeah, they gave me so much money.
you should hire a postdoc.
I wanted to look. Okay. Anyways, we'll talk about that offline. Yeah, but that's just me. So y'all think I'm doing all the things and stuff is just popping off and it's wonderful. But Dr. Kai over here is an associate professor with
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
tenure.
whoop, whoop, whoop,
We
whoop,
made
whoop.
it, y'all.
We
We
made it.
made it.
We made it. We made
And she didn't leave me. I thought for sure she was
it.
out. I
Really?
thought for sure she was going. I
Why
was like,
did you think I was
she's
gonna
gone.
leave?
Because you're fabulous.
Oh,
And I just knew somebody was gonna poach you.
this is true. I've not made myself poachable, but I think if I did, there would be a whole lot more.
It would happen so fast, and I would be
It
heartbroken.
definitely would. I've had offers to apply for things from people who are
I
on
know.
the hiring committee, like apply for this. I'm like, but I don't want to live there. So there's lots of like,
And the reason that I've been like, oh, she's leaving, is because she's been on what we're referring to as the Kyla tour.
and technically I'm on sabbatical, but I've been on tour. Today was the first day I've been back from tour. Had lots of dates. I was first in Colorado for a fun NSF meeting about broadening participation in computing. Then I went to a research conference in my own field where, I was able to just talk to people in my research area who I haven't been able to talk to in so long and just collaborate. And that was fun. Then I got all of these requests to come back to various places that I've called home. And like I went to Michigan and I was able to talk to the incoming PhD students in the College of Engineering and just give them lots of really good advice and what I wish I knew at their stage of the game. And like that went really well. And then that was really what they asked me to come for. I just asked them, hey, y'all know I had a crazy experience at Michigan as a grad student. Let me just bend the ear of a couple people in the department to talk about why y'all have not had another Black woman graduate since me from the program and for the PhD program. That turned into an all-day itinerary where I'm meeting with faculty, meeting with students, doing a talk, going to dinner, teaching a class. I didn't teach a class, but still, that felt like that was next on the list. That was next. It was such a long day. Like, I don't even want to describe it, but there was just, and if you've heard the podcast, you've definitely heard a lot about my story. I think maybe it's episode 11, who knows? But there was a lot about just my own trajectory as a PhD student and how just the environment of graduate school and just the norms and culture and just a lot of stuff that made it crazy. And I got to go back and like present all the cool stuff that I've been doing. I'm like, I have a research lab, I have tenure, I got the career award, I have $2 million in funding, I've done this. I basically flexed on them, showed them a whole bunch of research results and said, but that almost didn't happen because, and then I went through literally every big moment that made me want to leave the program. And for me, it was very vindicating because afterwards, and this is the person who was basically my savior at that point, who came up to me and said, I was sorry when it happened, and I'm so sorry now. When you put it together in narrative form, this is very compelling. Then 2 weeks afterwards, I get an email from him, like literally last week. And he's like, I've still been thinking about what you said. And then he basically disclosed, hey, like one of the biggest challenges was getting my defense canceled days before, like 2 days before. He's like, yeah, that person who did that, they are notorious for just being a jerk. This was the beginning of my collaboration with them. If I had known that, I would have never put them on your committee. I would have never XYZ co-signing on, yes, he is a jerk. And I'm like, okay, I feel like it's not just me. Because sometimes when stuff happens to you that's ridiculous, you feel like, okay, is it me? Because nobody else seems to be fazed by this. So like getting apologies, getting just it recognized that, hey, this is an issue and this is something you should be aware of. And then also them wanting me to come back to continue the conversation and recognizing it's an issue. I don't know why it took 10 years, but that's neither here nor there. But it was definitely, I won't share all the details of the email, but he said it was definitely life-changing, and like how I changed, research advisors. And he says, oh, well, your first advisor, he came to me a couple years ago and said, wow, I'm so surprised at how well Kyla's doing. And I'm like, okay, so you basically had a potted plant in the dark, and then you take it out the dark and you're surprised that it's growing. Like, what is the issue, sir? You are the darkness. So at least that was how I'm like, how are you surprised when you don't mentor someone, but you are surprised at what they're doing. So all that to say, it's been a really emotional Kyla tour. That was Michigan,
Yeah.
and then going to DC for, I'm from DC, so for conferences, and then I just came back from my undergrad, UMBC, where I was also a McNair Scholar as well as a Meyerhoff Scholar. So I got to talk to them at their 30th conference. I did a lecture that was on my research, and then I got to talk to them about my story as a grad student. So that was Saturday. So I'm back from the Kyla tour. It's been really eventful, and I'm glad I'm on sabbatical this semester, because with all this stuff that's coming up and that has happened, I don't know how in the world I would have taught anybody's class or anything like that, trying to keep up this travel schedule.
I'm so jealous.
Don't be.
So
I've been living in a suitcase for like 2 weeks.
No, not the suitcase part. I mean, like, not
Oh,
teaching. Because I have 2 whole sections. I have emails that I need to answer.
Yeah.
I feel bad, but I'm also just like, y'all will be
Y'all
okay.
will be all right.
It's going to be
Y'all
all right.
will be okay.
We're going to make it. And don't think that all your faculty are like me and actually care and will respond, because I'm going to respond. It's not even been 48
wow.
hours, but I feel like I need to respond like immediately as soon as they send that email. So I'm working on that. We also had some like really amazing podcast milestones. So like I'm really, really excited. Couple of things. So, you know, we've had some really great sponsors, which you always hear usually at the beginning in a very long drawn out introduction. But yeah, so, you know, we initially got our start with IMCS, and then NCWIT, and then CRAWP, and we're now at the point where we've passed the 6-figure mark on support.
Whoop, whoop.
So we are just super, super, super grateful that people have invested in us and given us opportunities to really support our community.
Yeah.
/ Kyla's community.
You are. I don't know why you keep trying to act like this isn't your community.
We've had 20,000 plays.
Woo-hoo.
So
over 50 episodes.
I mean, like,
yeah,
that's nuts.
Bananas.
For our little podcast that we don't really do a lot to promote. We've got like 1,000 followers on Twitter. Well, like 1,100. And we're almost at 1,000 on Instagram.
So y'all be loving us. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Y'all are watching us on YouTube.
Yep.
You're telling people in your classrooms and at conferences and at meetings. And a huge, huge, huge shout out to Robin Kenny.
Yes, Robin is the best. Yes, she's with Motor City Women's Studios in Detroit. And we brought Robin on board because we're humans. And right, all of the above. And we're like, we want this to be done correctly, and we want it to be done thoroughly and regularly. So Robin said, I got you. So we have, as you can have probably noticed, we have also, we're on LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn group for it, so you can also join on LinkedIn. But she makes sure that you see all of the posts, that everything that goes up on our social medias are correct. You get all the notifications about any time that we put up a new episode, about our store, just even clips with the episode. So we definitely want to give her a huge, huge shout out. This is the first time we've had somebody in this capacity for the podcast. So it just life changing. Like, it takes so much off of our, is this a Robin ad? I think, I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, y'all can't have her though. So don't even think if you have a podcast,
don't call
you
her.
can
Did I
have
say her
her
name was Robin? I said Mary Poppins.
Booked and busy, contracted out. Okay, she don't got
booked
time.
and busy, but she's amazing, and we're really happy to have her support, and someone behind the scenes who make sure that we're doing what we need to do and makes things as easy as possible for us, so we can focus on recording and booking folks and research and all that. I'm saying in terms of the podcast, we record say, hey, the recordings are in this folder, the end. And all the magic happens afterwards. So we also want to thank our guests. We've had a lot of guests over the time. And one thing that that always happens is like I'll go to a conference and like I'll be talking about the podcast to someone and I'm like, oh yeah, and that person was episode 10 and that person was episode this. Like there's so many people that are in the computer science community that, you know, have lent their time and their stories and just their candidness, because you don't have to tell us all your business, you have to tell us all the things. But we're really, really happy because this podcast wouldn't be what it is without the people who are, you know, coming on to tell you how they got where they got. So that's another huge thank you to our guests.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to y'all about my life, but you would get
I'm
bored
just start repeating
eventually.
stories after a while. Y'all gonna be like, you told us. Thank you.
No, there's so many stories, but we're not going down that rabbit hole. Y'all don't need to know everything. Yeah, I think it really speaks to like our community, like our network, right? Almost everyone we've recorded, like we've known, which is nuts to think about, right? Like we had some level of relationship with them. Yeah. And so people are always asking, like, how do you choose who you're going to record?
Like, I'm going down my contact list.
We send an email to someone and we're like, hey, like, we would really love to get you on the show. Do you have time?
Yeah. And also, there's a lot of folks that we don't allow on the podcast because we do get approached a lot by people who are definitely self-promoting very much. I don't even know what your podcast is about, but I want to talk to your listeners. And for us and for you all, this is a safe space. We don't need people who are coming to the podcast who don't align with the mission of the podcast, don't know the mission of the podcast, or will just throw us off track. So, that's just another, we try to make sure you all don't see that part, but, you know, we try to make sure that this is a space where Black women in computing are highlighted and uplifted. Anything apart from that isn't allowed.
This makes me think of one of your trips.
Oh, gosh.
And some of the commentary that's happened around that.
Oh, child.
Kyla's had some real messy stuff. So, yeah, on the Kyla tour, it sounded like it was all great and wonderful, right?
It was mostly
but then there were some...
but there was some parts.
Some people.
There's some parts where you have to integrate with Gen Pop, so which is society. So I have this practice of, or habit of, whenever I'm at a conference and I am microaggressed, I'm like, Jeremy, let me tell you what happened.
Instead of putting it on Twitter, because that's what she wants to do.
Because Jeremy's definitely the person who keeps me out of trouble. I'm like, I need to get this out. Someone needs to hear this. I'm like, I'm gonna tell Jeremy, and then, but we got podcasts too, so I can tell y'all. So,
because they aren't listening.
No, they're not listening. They're not listening to the podcast. But I won't say what the second one. The second one might give away what it is.
Okay, don't do that one.
I can do this. Okay. The first one was literally, I call them moments of microaggressions. And, there's a bunch of us and there's a bunch of us in a session, like 150, 200 people. And there's literally 2 Black women in the room, myself and another researcher. And so I go up to ask a question in the Q&A. And so the speaker, instead of like giving my question a thorough response, like she had done everyone else, she goes, you should do your thesis on that. And I'm like, girl, I got tenure, but she doesn't know me, but still, I was like, I'm way past that stage. And I'm like, can we actually talk about this? Because it's one thing if you don't know, just say, hey, I don't know, but we can collaborate on an answer or yada, yada. But she's like, you should do your thesis. It was very much everybody else gets a very long response, but you go look it up, go study it, little girl. So that is how it felt. And I'm like, all right, moments of microaggression. So it's one of those, like, you can have all the credentials, you can do all the things, have all the tenure, and still, just because Black don't crack, people assume that you're not at whatever position they think you should be in to actually answer their questions. So that was a thing. And then the other time was someone remade a 3D audio version of a Duke Ellington piece, and they put like all the different instrumentation into different pieces of space, and they put it in virtual reality. Why was every single musician in VR white? And I'm like, this piece has Black people who performed it and composed it. So I'm like, it was so soulful that it was just this cognitive dissonance in my head. Like, they did not create this piece. And I'm like, y'all don't even want Black people in virtual reality? Like, I know y'all don't want us in actual reality, but also in virtual, we can't even get our credit in virtual space. So yeah, I wrote that down. We said we're going to talk about it on the podcast. I don't have like a positive upswing for for that part, but that's what else is going on.
It's reality. It's reality.
Oh, I have a positive.
Yeah, no,
Jeremy, you
Okay.
organized this amazing retreat.
Oh. Thank you. Yeah, I was talking to one of the people who came on the retreat the other day, and I was like, look, I needed this for me. And so I was going to plan it whether y'all came or not.
Correct.
Like, I needed a break. My life, like my personal life, has been a hot mess. And my little, immediate family is doing wonderful. Nothing's rocky there. The husband is doing all the right things. The relationship is wonderful. The toddler is brilliant. The dog is a dog, But it's just everything else. Literally everything else is just like on fire. And he's a fireman and he can't even fix it. So I was just like, I'm just going to survive until I get to this weekend. And this weekend, I'm doing nothing but sitting in a house, going bike riding through an old city square,
hanging out in the ocean,
laying on
right.
the beach, just relaxing. And we had 7 people come and stay in this house in coastal Georgia and just like breathe. Everybody just took a deep breath and it was great. It was wonderful. So if you don't know, UF has like all the Black people in engineering together
as faculty.
As faculty. So let me
tenure
look at my
track
list.
and tenure and teaching and all the above. Adjunct, research scientists,
all the levels, but mostly tenure track faculty. And so I literally have a list. You can't really see it on my phone. Let me see.
Oh, that
it?
is so funny. Send me that.
No, you can't have my. No, you can have
but there's random stuff. I'm like, people need to do things.
I need to update it because we had one person leave.
Oh, okay.
Just gonna go ahead and delete that one. So we have a up-to-date list. But so that's 13 Black women. So
it's amazing.
And 10 Black men.
I think we're beating records for this.
And then that doesn't include like adjunct and other like Black engineers
and research scientists and other folks.
Yeah.
But what I liked the most about it was that everybody, even though a lot of us hadn't had a whole lot of FaceTime with each other or just seen each other, like, in passing, or it's different to hang out with someone for a couple hours for dinner versus living in a house with them for the weekend. There was just no drama. Everybody was so supportive.
Yeah.
We were just like, it was just a great time. Like, there were no negatives. Like,
we had a karaoke night, and it was after we were planning to go to a restaurant. Something happened, and
the wait
we didn't get out of the house
long,
until late.
I think, or something.
Yeah, we didn't get out of the house until late, and when we got there, it was like, y'all can be seated at 10 o'clock, and we're like, the restaurant closes at 10 o'clock. That doesn't make any sense. So we just decided we're gonna walk to this restaurant, and it was like super sketch, like
the path there was
lighting, random like
dirt kind of road,
yeah, and then like some guy in like a big truck being obnoxious, and then we start hearing like R&B music, and we're like from like the 90s, and we're just like,
we're like, say more, okay.
Got up to like the little check-in, counter thing, and there's like 2 children. And they're like, oh, like, would you like a table? And they're like, we have just 1 table left, and it's like the right amount of seats just for us. And we go and sit down, and our waitress comes, and she's like, so we're going to be bringing you like all these
Yeah.
appetizers. And we're just
We
like,
know what it is.
we didn't order anything. Like we just sat down. Who is the, like, where's this coming from? And they're like, oh, our manager is sending
Yeah.
it to you. And so like literally we got like 4 different appetizers. And then they were like, whatever you want, whatever you want, like you can have it. And so like one person was like, I just want one scallop. And they literally brought her a single broiled scallop to eat for free.
Yeah.
Like they didn't charge us for any of the appetizers. It was amazing. We took photos with the guy.
I wrote them
like,
a really good
manager
review
dude.
too on Yelp.
Yeah, we all wrote them reviews because it was just like, this is just, it doesn't happen. We were going to have a crappy night and it turned all the way around.
That's what we were meant to be. We were meant to be in that restaurant. That's why the first one didn't work out.
Yeah. And so we now like still like that community has continued, and we have lunches on Thursdays every other week where it's like, show up if you can.
Y'all went to Bo Diddley Plaza and saw a whole show when I was not able to, but I'm not sad. I'm not sore about it, and I'm not jealous.
If it makes you feel better, it was a local rapper group, and
it was not about the rapper. I wanted to see y'all.
It was not great. It's not
about the performance. It's more so y'all. Like, oh wow.
We've gone to dance classes together.
Aww.
We've gone swimming together. The families, the ones who have little people, we've gone to the pool together. So it's just been great having that community at our university that's in a predominantly white setting. So y'all can do it too.
Yep.
So that's something that I encourage people to do is, you know, wherever you are, you don't have to like hope community is formed. Like you can create that for you. And it might not be, you know, you can find the people who work in the same environment as you, but maybe it's from across all the different disciplines in engineering, there are enough of you to do all sorts of activities, or maybe it's beyond the campus community and it's in the actual community around you. Kyla talks about that, like how, you know, she would go to Detroit to go to classes,
we had
to dance
class, we went on ski trips. It was amazing.
Yeah. So you don't have to like have it physically at your institution, your college or university. You can make community happen wherever you are. So I'm grateful for that. And I think that we have the opportunity to help facilitate some of that through the podcast and through Modern Figures Inc. So I think that's going to be a next little adventure. Like, we've been talking about going on the road, taking the show on the road, and going to different meetings and stuff. So we've been kind of all over the place at this point, like in kind of smaller capacities where we've been, you know, to Grace Hopper with NC Wit. We went to the Tapia conference a few years ago and talked about how podcasting is for everyone.
We did the NC Wit Summit. IMCS related events. IMCS is back, the Institute for African American Mentoring and Computing Sciences, and they want to, some part of their grant is around creating media for Black folks in computing, so they would like to collaborate on that. So to be continued.
Coming soon. But yeah, we want to know like how we can find you. Like, where do y'all want us to be, to like engage with us, to like connect meaningfully with us, to allow us to use our talents to help you in whatever way that we can. We've kind of talked about going to South by Southwest,
Afrotech, the NESB conference, things like that. So, but let us know, where are y'all? Where do y'all want us to be? Like, this is something, like, we really, really want to interface and have engagement with all of you. So,
yeah, like, could we come to your school? Like, tell us. We'll figure out a way to get to you.
Even like Northeastern, for example, we did virtually where we spoke to their students and even had like a smaller like mock podcast like session with them. And, you know, just it literally, all it takes is reaching out to the organizers and saying, hey, I know some people who would be great to talk for X event. And it don't have to be Black History Month. Like, we Black all 365, 366 days of the year on leap years, but we are Black all the time. So...
and competent in our spaces. So that's something that, you know, we're just really passionate about communicating tech, science, engineering concepts and making it accessible to people. I will say I'm annoyed about flying right now because I just had a whole airport situation go down when I was going to the Tapia conference.
That was a lot.
So
it didn't even happen to me, and I was stressed out.
Someone took my bag from like the overhead bin and just left.
Just skated out the airport.
And I had no clothes. I had to wear Kyla's shirt.
It's a cute shirt.
It was a cute.
I looked for it to order you one. Like, they do not sell it anymore. Like, if I got to figure out
that's all right.
like a dupe for that shirt. But
it's all right. I'll be okay. But I was not okay that day. But we actually had a really good talk at the Tapia conference, and without Kyla, I would have been clothesless. No, I would have figured it out.
You had the same clothes on for like 3 days. If that was...
I went shopping, okay, and I bought the stuff that I needed, and like some black pants that I could wear, and I just like washed things, and Delta was like, here's some toiletries, which actually did help, but it was still also, just like,
y'all aren't helping
thanks
more.
For nothing.
Like, I wanted them to have bomb sniffing dogs. I needed them to pull the security footage because
I have no idea. My bag is back. It went on an adventure. We have no idea where it went, who it went with.
I don't know.
She was gone, y'all.
Just gone.
She was on a little excursion of her own, and you know what? It's fine because I got like hundreds of dollars worth of clothes back, good. And that's what matters to me.
But also, like, I don't like how it's just like, oh, it's not our problem. Like, yes, you all, the airline did not lose your luggage. However, this happened on your aircraft, adhering to your policies, and you're acting helpless.
All I can say is make your bag clearly your bag. Like, do something.
My bag has 9,000 colors. Because if you're trying to take my bag, the whole world will know, because it looks like a circus performer's bag because it has that many colors.
Anyways, drama. But we want to go places. We like traveling. We like talking, obviously. So, yeah, tweet us, DM us, tell us what you think makes sense. And and then so it's season 4.
Whoop, whoop. Season 4. Whoop, whoop.
Which I told Kyla I was going to get to 50 episodes, and I was like, bye, y'all. It's been real. We did it.
But there's still more Black people that we know that we have not interviewed.
There are so many more Black women who are incredible, and we want to highlight, and Kyla's making me do it.
I want to exhaust our entire personal network.
That's going to take too long. I know too many people.
Know too many people.
Yeah, and then with our powers combined, we're gonna take over the world.
Correct.
Yeah, so I would say, like, we could have 1,000 episodes and we still wouldn't be done, which is nuts to think about. Like, I think about that often, how many Black people in tech, in computing that I've met, and even just Black women in tech that I know. It's astronomical, and I shouldn't know all of them,
but you
right?
do.
Like, but I do because I talk a lot.
Speaking of the randomness, I went to an event while I was on the Kyla tour, and I'm literally sitting next to one of our guests, Dr. Makita Phillips.
Oh yeah,
because we have our masks on, and it's like, and I haven't seen Makita in person in like 3 years, and so I'm just sitting there and I'm talking to the person next to me, and she goes, Kyla. You've been sitting next to me the whole time. All I just saw was curls and eyes. That's it. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. We're in a large amphitheater where it's general admission. How do we choose to sit next to each other?
I got that text and it made me so happy. It It was so cute.
It was great. But it's all that to say,
Yeah.
we know
The
a lot
world
of
is
Black folks
small.
in tech doing amazing things. If you haven't heard Makita's episode, you should definitely listen to it. She was talking about her Black girl braids at the end of it. She's on the way to get her Black girl braids.
Yeah, and we talk about like mental health stuff too,
Yep.
because she's the person who like helped me survive. I tell her all the time she saved my life. She doesn't realize it, but she did. So
And we also went to the same high school. So there's so many just interconnections with all of these.
Yeah. It's
When I went
bizarre.
to DC, I met so many Black women who work for like different government organizations. And like, I ran into a girl I went to high school with who's also doing really, like, I have a whole list of folks too. I'm like, who, and one of them has her own podcast. So we're like, oh, maybe we can trade off. So there's a lot of folks. I forgot everybody, or not everyone, but for the most part, people in the DC area are doing something related to tech or something related to like computing, if it's consulting for the government or a company. So when you meet folks and it's like, oh, wow, you're getting your degree and you work for this company and you have a really important job. We should talk to you.
Yeah. So we're going to try to get some new topics on the show. I mean, podcasting is going to be one of them, right? We're going to talk to Dina McKay, who is really the person who inspired us the most to do this and encouraged us to pursue it. So Dina runs Black Tech Unplugged. In her free time, she's in tech and has been for many, many years. And she's just been in the industry and decided she was going to start a podcast. And we heard her at Black Tech Week Miami.
Black Tech Week.
I don't know how many years ago.
Maybe
She was
2018?
interviewing someone.
I want to say.
She was interviewing some like vice president at like CNN or something like that. And like had been all these different places and roles. And I was just like, wow, she's so inspiring. And so her show, they do men and women, and she's been doing it for years. So I have an episode. I don't know which episode, but I'm in it. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm in it, but I was in it.
And you did what you need to do.
So she's going to come on the show, and maybe we'll get Kyla on her show so that it's a full circle, right? And then we're going to bring back some people. So Pam Gibbs is doing some new fancy things in crypto land,
and she's going to explain all things crypto, because I know crypto is one of those fields where it's like, it's almost like the way I think about statistics, where it's like imaginary math. Like, I mean, it's math, you need it, but it's like someone made it up at some point. So
some people are really passionate about crypto. They don't talk about it because it's like secret. Like they don't want to tell you the secret sauce, but like, we should definitely be in all forms of commerce, and crypto is one of those areas where if you're not educated about it, you can get in and like lose a lot real fast.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot of areas in crypto that's like dark, like you don't want to go that way.
And there's lots of scams in crypto too.
Scams,
so, just being able to delineate what is for real and what is for fake. So I think
and I think also getting more industry people. I've been trying to get my cousin to come on the show, and I'm gonna yell at her when I get off of this recording. Like I'm literally gonna yell at her. Like, we are doing this. So her name's Shanae Bryant, and she was the first Black female producer of a game.
That is amazing.
Like, imagine that. Like, that's my cousin.
Just saying.
She's fabulous.
My cousin's just fabulous. You know, nothing big.
So I'm excited. She's worked at Microsoft. She's working at Meta now.
All these Meta
and
folks.
Worked for Capcom for many years.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, I did a lot of work on the HoloLens. So I think it would be really cool to have her on.
Definitely.
And Shawnee,
Dr.
Home
Chandra
team.
Daly.
we need to get her on because she made some life choices that a lot of people wouldn't make in the academy. And I think it's cool to see that there are different pathways. Like, you don't have to just follow this tenure track, follow the promotion ranks,
linear
and
story. Like,
check the boxes until you're done. Like, you can make the career you want, and that's something that we don't talk about when we talk about
Yeah, she has a
academia.
mix of experiences from electrical to computer science to design to, she's been tenured. She's like, hey, y'all can keep this tenure. I'm going to do something else. And she can tell you all about it. But yeah, we're really excited to have her. We also have some men who have asked to be on the show.
Yeah.
A couple we're thinking about, but well, y'all,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see it if it happens. You'll see it.
Yeah. Surprises to
Yes,
come. More
more
to come.
surprises. Other people that we're talking about having on that we can't share right now, but
Yeah. We're courting
yes,
some people.
yes, we are courting some people.
But if there's someone you want to hear from that you think we don't know, let us know
Yeah,
because we
and
might
I
know
would
them
bet.
and we might be able
I
to
would
get
bet
them.
too. If we don't know them, we know someone who knows them. Besides the person who nominates
That's
them,
facts.
but
Right,
there's
right, 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 right.
some other route because that's literally how small and insular the community is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, Thank you for buying our swag for everybody
Yes.
who's getting stuff. I've seen a lot of people buy the shoes
Yes,
lately.
we need the shoes.
Um,
The
I
shoes.
guess I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
buy a pair
you
of the
do.
shoes. I was very anti the shoes, but now I'm like, those are
I'm
kind
just
of cute.
saying when we
I
put the
could.
store together, I was like, "Ooh, look at this! This is amazing." And Jeremy's like, "You're doing a lot."
She was doing a lot, y'all. There was like
There
bedding.
is bedding. It's just hidden.
Yes, you see what I'm
Not
talking
was,
about?
is.
The shower
Yes, the shower
curtains and
curtain. There's makeup bags.
who needs these things with
I
our
was in the
face,
market for
like
a new
our
makeup
logo?
bag, and I was like, "Oh, I actually want the Modern Figures one. I have one already that holds our swag stuff, but I'm like, I need another one
Yes.
for my personal use." So
So we'll take a look at what options we still have available to us that we haven't
yeah,
exhausted because
they add stuff
some
every
stuff is
day.
performing and
Yeah,
some
that's the stuff.
isn't.
But they add
Yeah.
stuff every day. So, the shirts always, perform. Everybody likes shirts. But, some of the smaller stuff. And we also have a design for the young, gifted, and Black academic that will
Oh
be
yeah.
out hopefully by the time you hear this. So that will be something new in the store. But, everything that you purchase definitely helps us because we like to compensate all of our guests for their time. And, everything that we do, we want to make sure that people are being rightfully compensated. So, everything that you
Mm-hmm.
buy not only helps us, but it helps the people that make this show a show.
Yeah. So I guess that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's all
much
we
it.
got.
We talked about the world. We
Oh,
talked
we didn't
about
tell
us.
them how to get in touch with us, like if they have questions.
Oh.
So we have an email address that you can send email to. It is the word production at modernfigurespodcast.com. If you ever want to shoot us an email about who you want to be on the show, somewhere you think we should go, just any sort of commentary. Also, if you see our posts on Instagram or Twitter, feel free to comment below. We don't bite. We can either DM us or comment under the picture, under the video. But yeah,
Quote
yeah,
retweet.
retweet, post, all that.
We see it all. We do. So it's not Robin makes the posts, but we are constantly checking the
Yes,
notifications.
always.
So if you do get a message back, we usually will say it's from one of the two
Right.
of us. Comment Kyla. Or Jeremy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Let's see what else was there. I think that's it.
I think so too. I think so too. All right.
Bye.
See you the rest of the season.